Caitlin Clark last night dropped a triple-double in front of yet another packed house. She's the only player in the NBA history to have 2 triple-doubles as a rookie. Caitlin Clark is just getting it done. And one of the things that we have talked about, well, it's simply this, the MVP. Look, in the betting markets, or at least the betting markets that I see, FanDuel and DraftKings, they don't have a Rookie of the Year line anymore. That's how big the disparity is between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark for Rookie of the Year. There's no sense in betting it. Okay, that's one thing. But I'm telling you, and I have been telling you, that Caitlin Clark is going to be discussed as the most valuable player. Now, Dan Patrick talked about it yesterday, made a compelling case, basically saying, look, we're talking about valuable here. Not value, not statistical. And the leader, the winner, is going to be A'ja Wilson because, well, the OGs of the WNBA and the racist media will never, ever, ever allow a little white girl from Iowa in her rookie year to become the player of the year, the most valuable player. They won't allow it. You've seen all of the angst that she has faced, and now that it has subsided somewhat and the OGs and the crazies of the WNBA have settled down, including the players, including her own players, we've seen Caitlin Clark's greatness. And that greatness is on display every time she plays, including, as I said, a triple-double last night. But the MVP is interesting. I mean, if you look at what Caitlin Clark's doing, taking a perennial last-place team, and by perennial, I mean the last 2 years, number 1 pick in the draft, worst record in the league, and elevating it well before the end of the season. I mean, well before is a little bit of an exaggeration, little bit. Before the end of the season, before the last game. They're already in the playoffs. A'ja Wilson's been terrific, but her team has underachieved. And that's what I look at. That's how I look at it. Like, I get it. The only player in the history, think about this, of Major League Baseball to win the most valuable player and have a last-place team was the great Andre the Hawk Dawson of the Cubs way back in, I think it was 87. Think about that for just a second. But having said that, let's talk about something else. Charles Barkley is keeping the how dumb the WNBA is narrative alive. Charles Barkley still talking about the narrative of how they have effed up, according to Sir Charles, the Caitlin Clark situation. But I will preface this by saying, yes, the league did, but Caitlin Clark and her play and her teammates' play have straightened it. Here's Charles.
These ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. People believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just total bullshit. This girl is incredible. The number of attention, eyeballs, she's brought to college and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness, you say to yourself, damn, what is going on here? And the thing I love about her, she never says a word. But these ladies, who I love and respect their game, they couldn't have this thing up any worse. There's been so much negativity, and a lot of it is just petty jealousness.
Well, he's absolutely right. I mean, there has been. But as I said, now it's kind of settled down. Now, see, the angry OGs of the WNBA have nowhere to turn. You know, you saw it when Dawn Staley went on looking like a kid-in-play character, having no respect for what she should be, which is the leader of college and United States women's basketball, showed up on an interview with Tariqa or whomever. I don't even know what she looked like. It just showed how wrong and how bad the WNBA had marketed themselves over the years. Now here comes Caitlin Clark, and what's everybody doing? Everybody's dressing up. Everybody's dressing up. It's a damn fashion show before every game. See, that's the difference between the OGs of Dawn Staley, who couldn't make this league into anything, and the new Gs of Caitlin Clark and the rest. The new Gs are bringing fashion, style, sex appeal into the game. The OGs are still trying to look like little boys on the street, and that's part of it. But to Charles's point, I think he's right, but I also think it's also settled down. Why is it settled down? Simple. Just like everything else, Caitlin Clark has won. Caitlin Clark has been spectacular. It doesn't give the OG morons who could not grow this league any cover. Nobody in their right mind on television, streaming, radio, print is going to write anything negative about Caitlin Clark because, frankly, there isn't anything negative about Caitlin Clark. They're going to write negative. They're going to talk negative. They're going to show negative. They're going to tweet negative about people that go at Caitlin Clark. That's why you see that clown Dawn Staley sitting there looking like a clown on television during the Olympics, apologizing for not putting Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team. There's nowhere to turn. They had all kinds of places to turn. They had the black media to turn. They had the female media to turn. They had white dudes that were scared of being called racist to turn to. But not anymore. Why? Winning, play, triple doubles, fancy passes, smile, stay above the fray. Charles is right. The best thing about Caitlin Clark, and I wish I could do it, is stay above the fray of idiots that come at me. It's very difficult for me. Ion Television, speaking of Caitlin Clark, is the latest network. It is to benefit from the budding rivalry, if it is even a rivalry anymore, between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. The Fever in the Sky set another WNBA record on Ion, and it beat, look at this, it beat ESPN college football. Of the 12 WNBA games to bring in at least 1 million viewers, 18 have included Caitlin Clark and the Fever. This includes Friday's matchup between the Fever and the Sky, which helped Ion reach new marks in their NBA coverage. See awful announcing? See little Benny Axelrod? We're not mad at you. We'll use you. Just be people. Just be human beings. Don't be farm animals that just attack. Be human beings. Write a nice article on my bikes program. It set a new record because football. Ion's broadcast brought in an average of 1.6 million viewers, peaking at 1.92 million. It ranks as the highest viewed game in the history of the network. Now, here's my thought on that particular stat. That's going to change. That's going to change probably the next time she's on Ion. See, I was wondering, and I think a lot of us were, well, I know a lot of us were, how's this going to play once college football, once college football and NFL football starts? Well, college football started. Half of us can't even find Ion. I didn't know Ion existed. I do now, and I found it on my YouTube TV. And it outdrew men's college football. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This is a tornado that just ain't stopping. See what I said? Caitlin Clark can't be criticized right now. Doing everything right. Setting records on the court, off the court, in the market. What's to cry about? What seriously is to cry about? Now, you're going to see this. You may see a drop. The NFL starts tonight, and we're very excited about it. In fact, the conversation off air was, do you bet the Chiefs early or do you bet against the Chiefs early? And that's the fun of NFL and college football. But I got to tell you, I said I would wait until college and NFL football started to see if this train keeps a rolling. This train be keeping a rolling. And it's rolling on the tracks. And it's rolling down the tracks. Now, last thing before I move it along. I do agree with Charles, though. I do agree that the pettiness, not even led by Sheryl Swoopes. Here's the deal. Caitlin Clark's like this. Sheryl Swoopes like this. You know, Sheryl Swoopes is trying because she's trying to be a mentor. That's great. Everybody needs a mentor. I wish I had a social media mentor. It would keep me out of a lot of trouble. But I don't. It's me. What are you going to do? Long story short, you keep rocking, you keep rolling, Caitlin. And we're not even talking about, by the way, the financial impact of on a Wednesday night in downtown Indy, where usually there's like 2,000, 3,000 people going to a Fever game. They had another packed house. And what I was told, bars, restaurants, once again, packed pregame. We're not even talking about that. That's the impact. This girl is awesome in every way. Well, we did talk about Sheryl Swoopes. The insufferable Sheryl Swoopes doubles down on a feud with Nancy Lieberman. She calls out Nancy Lieberman, who is one of the OGs, Probably there's some bad blood in the background. You know how I always do. How I always do is I say, yo, there's always a backstory. Whatever story you see, there's a backstory. And I go back to Caitlin Clark. You know, when they were crushing Caitlin Clark, I asked my wife, what's the backstory here? I get it, jealousy. She said, oh, no. Jealousy is like the umbrella. But the bottom line is women in sports don't want to see other women in sports succeed. And I started thinking about what my wife said, and she gave me examples, and boy, was she right. Sheryl Swoopes is still hanging on. Still hanging on. I mean, the nasty one is still there. Why do I call her the nasty one? Well, because she was so nasty, according to everybody that I know, and I know a lot of people in the Chicago area, when she was coaching at Loyola. And she got fired for being nasty. She's the nasty one. Anyway, here's what Sheryl Swoopes had to say about Nancy Lieberman.
What I do know didn't happen was a phone call from her. Nancy Lieberman decided she was going to be upset that I said it was going to be an adjustment period for Caitlin, Angel, all the rookies, but in particular Caitlin, and that I didn't think she would come in the league and dominate right away. It's my opinion. So she got upset that I said that. So she decided she was going to go to Twitter, which is what people do. She was going to go to Twitter and try to call me out. And I don't have it, but it's somewhere out there in the universe where she actually posted, oh, why can't we just let them be great? Let me introduce you to Caitlin Clark. And so she had to go on and put all the stuff about what Caitlin had done, which is great. So don't say you called me to talk about that when you didn't. You posted that on Twitter, and then I responded to you. I texted you and said, Nancy, if you have something to say, call me, since we're supposed to be, quote, friends.
See me? I want you to look at me. I want you to look at me close. I'm an adult male with the great American penis. There's not a chance in hell I give a shit about this. There's not a chance in hell I give a damn about a two women catfighting. Not what I do. Not what adult males with the great American penis do. We saw Stephen A. Smith get involved yesterday. Not this guy. I don't get involved in any of this stuff. God bless both of you. I'm keeping it moving. By far the funniest story. This is the funniest story of mainstream media. The bowling ball that's pretty good, Nick. That is Brian Stelter, a.k.a. the biggest fraudulent pussy on TV, is returning to CNN in a new role as chief media analyst. Really? Chief media analyst? Huh. I'm going to sit around and watch TV and analyze it. Huh. All right. And will once again return to the reliable sources portion of TNT, which has been debunked multiple times for propagating fake news. Perfect place for this guy. Perfect place. This guy's never held a job. This guy's never done nothing. See, I like people that have had to make payroll telling me stuff. I don't like fat guys from some bad journalism school telling me nothing. Brian Stelter, my ass. All right, let's read. CNN continues to be MSNBC light. That's pretty good right there. By hiring Brian Stelter. I don't even know how to say his name. And in fact, I got to tell you, not that this matters. I'm looking up something here while I'm talking to you. Not that this matters, okay? It doesn't really matter. But I never heard of the guy. I really don't. I never, ever, ever heard of him. Dude went to Towson. Really? Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Somehow he dated one of their anchors. Okay. He married a traffic anchor. If you didn't have coworkers, Brian Stelter would never get a date. But he must have something to him. But I digress. Chris Light replaced Jeff Zucker as CNN president in 2023, immediately firing Stelter, whose role as a media critic consisted almost exclusively of criticizing right-wing media. See, this is my problem. I criticize and I support all. I do. If you are left-wing and you're an idiot, we're going to say it. If you're right-wing and you're an idiot, we're going to say it. That's the beauty of OutKick. That's the difference between OutKick, the big lead, awful announcing, and those left-wing crazy people. We simply do what we do. We see it, we talk about it, we evaluate it, good or bad. That's what we do. But that's not what these folks do. And I don't like it. Nah, I don't like it a bit. I don't like anything about it. Stelter's objectivity came into question when he often refused to criticize any of the many overtly left-leaning news organizations. Well, that's my problem. See, my whole problem is this. If you pay attention, actually have a thinking brain, actually be someone that can think for yourself. Maybe you learn to do that from your parents. Maybe you learn to do that through marriage. Maybe you learn to do that through being a boss, an athlete. I don't know. But you can actually think for yourself. Both sides are jackasses. And if you're going to sit there and only criticize one side, now, having said that, I get that you can favor one side. I certainly favor Trump over these crazy people. Why? Because I paid attention. I know what's going on our border. Everybody has something specific to themselves that they are concerned about. Obviously, the economy for 99.9% of us. But take that away. Mine is immigration. I know what's happening in my city. Hell, I saw what happened up in Lowell, Indiana, where, by the way, I think I still have the high school gym record for 49 points in only 3 quarters in Lowell, Indiana, where an illegal immigrant stabbed a 14-year-old girl in the hand as she was watching her brother's baseball game. I mean, what are we doing? Lowell, Indiana to us in northwest Indiana, Gary, Indiana is southern Indiana. I mean, what are we doing? Anyway, I digress. Stelter has continued his crusade against Fox News since his firing, but failed to mention MSNBC's conspiracy-laden coverage of the assassination. Remember that? Nobody seems to. Attempt of Donald Trump. Stelter was also noticeably quiet on Joy Reid's racist yet viral rant last month, likening Arizona Senator Mark Kelly to a mayonnaise sandwich over his whiteness. Well, you got to understand something. And this is how the world looks, and this is where the world is jacked up. Stelter wouldn't be able to get his job back if he criticized Joy Reid. Stelter wouldn't be able to get his job back if he was all in on Donald Trump. He would never get a job. And look, we can all pound our chest and stand up for something, but most of us need jobs, need to eat, pay rent, mortgage, whatever it is. So I get why Stelter didn't do that, but I also get why CNBC or CNN is a joke. I do. They have one guy on there. There's a guy named Scott Jennings. I don't know if you pay attention how much you do to CNN, but I pay attention to Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings is the one guy on there that will shoot you straight. He'll shoot down stupid, and he will prop up the intelligent. It's a pretty simple formula, and you would think more would do it. You know, I know people claim that Fox News does the same thing, and I get that. Fine. But ain't nothing like CNN and the conspiracy-driven things that they've got going on. Thank God for CNN Scott Jennings. That dude's got a little something, you know, between his legs. The great American, say it with me. Oh, man, I can see that in awful announcing. NFL diva Stefon Diggs opened up about his final year in Buffalo. I didn't even read this story, and I'll tell you why I didn't read it yet. I didn't read this story, and I usually read through every story that we do here. I didn't read this story because I'm making a guess here, and I could be dead wrong. There's going to be some type of victim here. He's going to be portraying himself as there's going to be mental health and victim. That's the only way this guy, Stefon Diggs, can get through and have some face. That's it. I guarantee. I haven't read it. I'm going to read it now. Opened up about his final year in Buffalo, and things didn't sound like they were great. All right. Last year, I was in. There we go. Here we go. Ready for it? I did not read. I swear I didn't read this. Last year, I was in the worst mental space I've been in since I've been in the league. Really? Mental victim. If I'm not in a good space, obviously that's not the best for me. So that's when things had to start shaking out. You can't roll out of bed and get 800 yards in the first 8 games. Your best receiver's doing that. You tell me about the last 10, what changed? Were there changes going on? I just pay attention to what really happened and not what people try to act like what happened. Like, for the last 10 games, I forgot how to play effing football. So what he's telling me is he's in a bad space, but he was good for the first 8 games, and then it was somebody else's fault because, of course, I didn't forget how to play football. It's always the same. I mean, look, you have to have been in sports as a coach or a player to understand it or to predict it. But you can close your eyes and know what's coming. Somebody else's fault, quarterback, coach, OC, owner, general manager, his trainer, a nutritionist, lawyer, I don't know, psychologist, psychiatrist, hooker, girlfriend. It's always somebody else's fault when you're a diva. It's never like, you know what? I just didn't perform. I was a pain in the ass. And I told you this before. They got rid of Stefon Diggs because they felt like their best chance, they being the Buffalo Bills, their best chance to win the Super Bowl, which is where they're at with Josh Allen and that city and that organization, was without Stefon Diggs. I mean, it ain't hard. You don't get rid of a highly productive athlete unless the pain in the ass factor is here and the production doesn't quite match up to it. That's in every business. Every single business. That's what it is. And that's why they got rid of him. It's amazing. None of those teams wanted to get rid of me. Really? Really? Nah, they didn't want to get rid of you. What they did, no. Things had to shake out because I kind of wanted them to shake, meaning I was a pain in the ass. Meaning I put me in front of others. And frankly, unless that behavior changes, he's not going to help anybody win. In fact, I understand we're all supposed to go all in on the Houston Texans. I'm not. 2 things. They didn't score a lot of points on offense with C.J. Stroud. Sure, they scored 45 in the playoff game, but Joe Flacco gave them 2 straight pick sixes. I mean, are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Stop it. But anyway, let's continue. We had some talks with Buffalo. We knew where things were going. I did, at least. The outside world had so much speculation. I knew from the beginning of the year to the end of the year to the offseason exactly what was going on. Well, yeah, you're a pain in the ass, and they were going to get rid of you. This ain't hard. Nothing hard about this. Not too much confusion on my end. I'm a professional. I believe it. Really? 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 You're a professional. I believe in professionalism. That's like me saying I believe in a full head of hair. Don't. You know my analogy. Guy gets caught in bed with another woman and they're naked. His wife walks in. Husband says, honey, I'm not doing nothing. You going to believe me or you going to believe what your eyes tell you? That's the Stefon Diggs thing here. I'm a professional. Really? I believe in professionalism. You don't got to talk bad about your ex-girlfriend to your new girlfriend. All right. Well, that's a professional. Stefon Diggs has been a lot of things. Certainly hasn't been professional. Now, somebody's going to throw their numbers out at me. That's not what I'm talking about. Man, all I care about is what you do between them lines. No, not if you're trying to win a championship. No. All you got to do is read a little bit. All you got to do is pay a little bit of attention to different places. Danny Hurley's the perfect example of UConn. It's more than just what you do between those lines. It's how you get there. It's the process, those type of things. All you got to do is read a little bit about Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, over that in New England and Kansas City, obviously, and you'll learn it's not about just what's between the white lines, and that's where people make a mistake. That's where people decide to go about the business of making excuses for athletes that are jackasses and will never win. That simple. Anyway, and I'll be interested. I would bet my life, not my life, it ain't worth my life. I would bet, this coffee mug from Monaco that my mom got me. I would bet that Stefon Diggs will, at least for half the year, be on his best behavior and not be a jackass. Because he's not the biggest show in town. He thought he was in Minnesota. He thought he was in Buffalo. He's been demoted now to the Texans. Third team. Tells something about yourself if you're introspective. I'll bet you he's great for the first half of the year, and then we'll see. I'm not going to say he's going to be bad or a jackass, but then we'll see. Some point people get humbled if they, have half a brain, and I think Diggs does. I do. All right, you ready for it? You know what's coming. You know what's coming tonight, Nick and Nick. You know what's happening tonight. It's the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens on national TV. What are we going to see? Taylor Swift. What are we going to hear about? Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. They've already shown, the NFL has, that they're all in on Taylor Swift. Their hype video had more Taylor Swift than any player. I don't blame you. I mean, hell, you already got crazy people like me, us, and according to an executive with some NFL team, all the high school educated crazy drunks out there that are following NFL teams. I don't know if we have that video. I got to look. But anyway, you're going to see a lot of Taylor Swift tonight. All right, let's get into it. We got rumors already of Travis Kelce in a breakup. Rumors that Travis Kelce's relationship with Taylor Swift was planned swirled around after an alleged contract with an exact date they would break up started appearing online. Travis Kelce's PR firm calls lawyers his document with exact date for Taylor Swift breakup goes viral. Oh, no. A document from Full Scope PR, an LA-based firm, began circulating on social media, first on Reddit with a split-up date of September 28th for Kelce and Swift. It also appeared to outline a plan for how to handle the reaction to the breakup, including allowing the initial media frenzy to settle and ensure clarity. Really? Again, you know my stance. Everything goes back to 30 Rock. And everything goes back to Seinfeld and 2.5 Men. Liz Lemon on 30 Rock dated John Franco. Franco is a movie star who is in love with his pillow. That's right. He had a Japanese body-length pillow. So, Liz Lemon, although not in love, it wasn't Liz Lemon. It was Jenna Maroney. They had a setup. They were going to date each other for television, for paparazzi. Everything goes back to 30 Rock, Seinfeld. This was already on 30 Rock. They were going to break up. The paparazzi didn't know about the Asian body pillow that James Franco, that Franco was in love with. They had a start date, an end date, and in between they were shown dating. Everything goes back to 30 Rock, Seinfeld, or 2.5 Men. Anyway, long story short, am I surprised by this? Yeah. I mean, think about it. Was it smart? Yeah. I am surprised by this. You know, again, I am an adult male with the great American penis. And to my knowledge, I don't get involved in these things. But I will say this. I always thought it was interesting or telling, I guess is the right word. I think it's telling. Taylor Swift has never appeared on New Heights, the podcast of the Kelce brothers and the Kelce brothers' wife. Never appeared on it. Oh, I tell you what, though, great business move for both. Taylor Swift is all over the most popular sport in our country, the NFL, and the Kelce brothers just got themselves $100 million to sit in front of this and talk. Huh. I don't know. Pretty good deal to me for both. I hope those crazy kids don't break up. Oh, gosh. It'd be so sad. Donald Trump thanks Brittany Mahomes for supporting him. Good for Donald Trump. Good for Brittany Mahomes. Brittany Mahomes caught a lot of ish because, well, when you support somebody in sports, it must be the left. Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, they didn't catch a lot of ish. A lot of vitriol, a lot of hate. Nah. It's only from our most tolerant, our friends that are liberals, where the vitriol is strong, the anger is tough, hate real. Well, guess what? Brittany Mahomes ain't having it. Donald Trump had this to say. I want to thank the beautiful Brittany Mahomes for so strongly defending me and the fact that MAGA is the greatest and most powerful political movement in the history of our now failing country. With crime and illegal immigration totally out of control, inflation ravaging all Americas, and a world that is laughing at the stupidity of our hapless leaders, it's nice to see someone who loves our country and wants to save it from doom. What a great couple. See you both at the Super Bowl. Look, I like it. I like people that stand for something. What's that line? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I like it. Where's Nick at? I got to bring Nick in on this. I don't see Nick here. I got to get his take on Brittany Mahomes. We all must get a take on Brittany Mahomes. My take is this. Good for her. There's slick Nick. Nick looking resplendent in black. He's looking like Danny Zuko from Greece right now today. He doesn't even know that reference. Doesn't even know that reference. These young kids today. Let me ask you a question. Does anybody care that Brittany Mahomes is endorsing? Now, think about this before you say no. Do women that follow the NFL think that this means anything? You know, do young people think this means anything, Brittany Mahomes endorsing Donald Trump?
Yeah, I think people definitely care, especially people who are intolerant. Do you remember when she was starting liking all that shit, and then she had to make an Instagram story, saying like, you people are idiots? I think people care very much.
Really?
Yeah.
About Brittany Mahomes?
I think people care.
I mean,
yeah.
Do you think it influences people?
I think it steers people away from the Chiefs, that, those new fans that came in who like Taylor and Travis, and, Brittany and Taylor are now going to be like, they're friends and they've been seen on camera as friends. I think that steers people away from football and the Chiefs. I think not in droves, because people are still going to want to watch the Chiefs game for Taylor Swift. But at the same time, it's like people are still going to be pissed off more at Brittany Mahomes and Patrick Mahomes.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Let me ask you another question, because
I think they're absolute idiots. So
who?
The people who are up in a fit because Brittany Mahomes likes Trump. I think those people are absolute baffling idiots.
Let me ask you this: you ever been in a fake relationship?
No, I've never man-tied Teo anybody.
I'm not really talking about that. Have I ever been in a fake relationship? No. But I will tell you this. I have been in a relationship that I wanted to get out of, no matter how pretty the girl was.
I had one of those.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I had one of those.
Yeah, I mean, you start out, and I'm sure there have been women that are like, yeah, Dakich was on the basketball team, but he was a jackass, and I had to get out of that too. I mean, I get it. It happens. But no, I have not been in a relationship where it's like, hey, date me to do this. I think one girl asked me to her sorority dance, to show that she went with a basketball player. But other than that, not really. No. Last thing. Do you think that the WNBA and all of the crazy people, do you think we're done, we're over hating on Caitlin Clark? Is that over, or what do you think?
No, because I think that the bigger and better she gets when she gets into the playoffs, granted the Indiana Fever goes so far, I think they're still going to find ways to hate on her. It's like putting a microscope to an anthill. I think that they're going to look for literally every single small detail to try and, slander this poor girl. So it's not over. I think it's just beginning.
Yeah. I don't think I think it's done. I think it's over.
You think
I think the hate is over. Yeah, because I think she's playing too good. I do. I think she's playing too well. You know what I mean? At some point you're playing so damn well that you just simply keep rocking and keep rolling, and no one can criticize you. Now, if she plays bad, I can see it. You know what I mean?
She's still breaking records though, and it's like what your wife said. Women hate to see other women do well,
Oh,
and
they
she
hate it.
continues to hit triple doubles. Yeah, if they see everyone sees her hitting triple doubles in the playoffs, and she single handedly takes her team to like the Eastern Conference Finals, and then to the WNBA Finals. I think they're still gonna find reasons to hate her.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I don't. I do not disagree. Hey, can you guys put that picture up that Aaron sent me? Is that thing ready to be put up? I don't know. I think we need to see that bad boy. I don't either, but it was pretty good. We got it. Other Nick F. I don't know, but it's we. Oh, I just sent it to you. I literally just sent it to you. Oh, we're working on it. Okay. Well, Barkley not happy. Hey, let's play some Barkley. It's always a good time to play some Barkley. Barkley's pissed off about how the WNBA has handled Caitlin Clark. Let's play some Barkley, Tyler and Nick.
These ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. People believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just total bullshit. This girl is incredible. The number of attention, eyeballs she's brought to college and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness, you say to yourself, damn, what is going on here? And the thing I love about her, she never says a word. But these ladies, who I love and respect their game, they couldn't have this thing up any worse. There's been so much negativity, and a lot of it is just petty jealousness.
Yeah, I think it's past, though. It's not gone, but I think it's past. I do. I just think it is just past, and it's because of how Caitlin Clark has played. 100th career three-point field goal. They got all these records. I just saw it. 34th game, passing a record. Caitlin Clark went and got busy when the game was close last night in the fourth quarter, hit a three, behind-the-back pass, giving everybody the business. Barkley was right, but I don't think he's right anymore. I think it has passed.